Hi everyone, and welcome to the Book Refuge, and welcome to my June 2020 TBR, which I'm always excited to do these. I love picking books that I may or may not end up reading the next month. Just kidding. So this month I only have a couple books predetermined, which is nice, and they are the books that you guys voted on, which we had our best turnout for votes in a long time. I put them back up on Instagram again. I had been doing that for a long time because I just get more votes on the books that way, to put it both on Instagram and on Booktube. And it's funny, like, the difference in the voters. Not necessarily like, I don't know. It is true, like just the books that have maybe been hyped on Instagram more, so they get more votes, whereas the viewership that I have on my channel is definitely a lot different, and they're not quite as into the most popular things, so they vote on, they vote on ones that either they've heard me be talking about or ones that you suggested to me. And also, when you're watching the video to vote, you actually hear me talk about the book a little bit. Whereas on Instagram, I try to put a thing about the book on it, but otherwise you're mostly only voting on the cover and not what's inside. So just some interesting thoughts on it. Anyway, so the ones that got picked is Bring Down the Duke, got a total of 45 votes, which is a lot for this. So this we're gonna fit in for sure. And then I'm super excited about this. I was nervous it was gonna be one of the other ones. Is Stepsister. So those two books we need to try to get on here for sure. Also coming out in June is Charming Like Us by Krista and Becca Ritchie, and The Shadow Wand by I just forgot her name, but I'm super excited for that book. So if possible, I might put those ones on here. We'll see what gets drawn. If this is your first time to my channel, the way I do my TBR is I have this list of prompts that I created that all correspond with a deck of cards. So what I do is I deal myself 5 cards. We'll see how the cards go. Last month, I ended up having 8 books on my TBR, which the TBR is actually going very good, by the way, because I filmed this early. I've gotten through over half of them. So we'll see if the cards deal me that many books again. Otherwise, I might do a couple extras. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle this. And then what I do is I deal myself a card and you burn a card. The first one is the 10 of Spades. Let's see what that one is. 10 of Spades is to read a sci-fi. Oh snap. Okay, so I grabbed Last of Her Name by Jessica Cooey. This is one I've actually had for quite a little bit now. The tagline for this is, "Some destinies are written in stone. Hers is written in the stars." And I believe that this is an Anastasia retelling, which is why I got it. So let's read it just real quick. 16 years ago, rebellion swept the galaxy known as the Belt of Jewels. Every member of the Leonov royal family was murdered, down to their youngest child, Princess Anya, making way for the Union government to seize power. Not everyone believes the Union is better, though, and rumors abound of dissenting and undesirable disappearing forever. But Stacia doesn't think much about politics. She spends her days half wild, rambling her father's vineyard with her friends Cleo and Pole. That all changes when a Union ship appears burning through the sky, bearing the Director Eminent himself. The leader of the Union declares that Stacia's Sleepy Village is a den of Empire loyalists. Even more shocking, the Director claims that Princess Anya Leonova is alive and Stacia is the lost princess. As their home explodes into chaos, Pole smuggles Stacia to a hidden escape ship, leaving Cleo in the hands of the Union. With everything she knows threading away into stars, Stacia sets her heart on a single mission. She will find and rescue Cleo, even while the whole galaxy is on her tail. So, yeah. I've never read anything else by Jessica Cooey. It looks like she has another trilogy, but this is blurbed by Sarah Rosh and Amy Kaufman, so that's exciting. But let's put this one on the list. That sounds fun. All right, what's the next one? 5 of Clip. Okay, this one is read a viewer recommendation plus 1 book. Okay, so I actually have some of these listed on my computer, which is behind the camera. Okay, so I went back into my comments for my historical romance recommendation video because I want to be reading more of those. And the first recommendation that isn't one I've read already was for a Sophie Barnes. And I already had a Sophie Barnes on my list from books I wanted to pick. So I'm going to go ahead and do his Scandalous Kiss by Sophie Barnes because I really want to read this one. I think it looks gorgeous. And since that was one of my viewer recommendations, I'll do that as well. And this one also said, this prompt also said plus 1 book. So we will do an extra draw or use one of ours that we have to if we don't. So this one is about Thorncliffe Manor and a guy named Richard Hartley who put himself in exile since the war, and he's plotting revenge for a betrayal. And then there's a masked ball, and there's this girl named Lady Mary, and they run into each other, and it looks beautiful. And I want all the historical romance on my TBR, so it makes me happy. Next card is the 6 of Spades. Lots of dark ones this time. 6 of Spades is to read your most recent purchase. Ooh, that's going to be fun. I'll be right back. As you will see from the book haul that I just did, the most recent one that I purchased in regards to recording this video is House of Dragons by Jessica Cluess. I'm really excited. Jessica also wrote the, what was that series called? It was A Shadow Bright and Burning, which I didn't totally love, but it had a lot of good potential. I just didn't like where the series ended up going. And this one is about these 5 houses who need to compete for being the next emperor, I believe. And it says there's a liar, a soldier, a servant, a thief, and a murderer. Let the battle begin. And I basically bought it because of all the dragon swords on the front and because it says House of Dragons, and I love dragons. So this is perfect. I'm having a lot of like YA on this one. It's been a while since I've had that many of these. Dang, I still have to get through these 2, which haven't come up yet. So, oh, there's a light one. 7 of Hearts is, oh boy, read a booktuber's favorite book. Go to my Voxer for this because I have my awesome group of romance booktubers. So what I'm going to do is go to our chat. I'll move this over so I can see my screen. And we'll see what happens. So I'm going to tell them to name as quick as you can, name your most favorite book to me. So, all right, let's see how long this takes to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and continue, and when they answer me, we'll pop back in. So, last one here is the 4 of Diamonds, is read a YA fantasy. Perfect. So we'll do Stepsister for that one. This one, I believe it's fantasy anyway. So this one is about Isabella is one of the stepsisters who cut off one of her toes to fit into the slipper, and now she's like being punished for it basically. And so it's supposed to be kind of like a redemption story for her. So that's fun. So we'll go ahead and pick. So Steph answered me and she said Insidious by Althea Romick. Steph picked this book for me. Let's see what it's about here. It says, when a powerful man is willing to risk everything for his own satisfaction, one woman can beat him at his own game, his wife, or so she thinks. Stuart Harrington is rich, gorgeous, and one of the most powerful men in Miami. He always gets what he wants. Anything is available to him for the right price, even me. Being the wife of a mogul comes with all the perks, but being Mrs. Stuart Harrington comes with a few special requirements. I'm learning to keep a part of myself locked away as my husband watches me submit. Ooh, girl, BDSM. You know I love that. So thanks, Steph. Thanks for having my back. You the girl. So then all that leaves is to add Bringing Down the Duke. And we'll probably keep it at this because this is a lot of YA for me for one for one TBR. I haven't been doing that much YA lately, but I will tell you some other books that are probably going to be on here. I am planning to dive into the Shatter Me series. I may have already read a lot of it. That was on my TBR for last month, and I was very trepidatious about it, and I freaking loved it because there's a very heavy romance, and I think that's why a lot of people don't like it, but it is fodder for my dreams, and I'm totally into this weird twisted thing that we have going on. So I'm planning to read that series, as much of it as I can. It may mostly be done by the time this video comes up. We'll see. Then, like I said, there's a few new ones coming out. Say No to the Duke comes out on Tuesday. Charming Like Us comes out. The Shadow one comes out. So those are some that I'm hoping to get to. I don't always get to new releases, but I feel pretty good because we picked 4 books that were on my already owned TBR this month, plus the one that Steph picked. So those are going to be my TBR for this month. So thank you so much for watching. I put up new videos 3 to 4 times a week, and you can watch some of them